Sometimes I wonder how I got here. I had to grow up, but I'm better off than last.
I just kind of wanted to start. I feel like we have such a big network of business owners and just, I don't know, like affluent people in Halifax that it just kind of felt like I wanted to build a platform to try and talk to them and get some stories out. So that's where this is coming from, which is the Rising Tide podcast. So we all kind of just want to build a platform for people to connect and network and grow within the Maritimes, and I don't know, this kind of seems like a starting spot for that, and kind of just want to see what happens with it and where it goes. So
Yeah.
for me, that's what this is about. But I don't know, we've been talking about how we should have a podcast for a while now, and it just is.
We're doing it.
Doing
They're
it.
doing it.
Brad finally reached out today and said,
I said
let's do a podcast.
We're getting one in the books.
Is this a podcast or is it a talk show? Like
Shit. It feels like a talk show. doesn't
talk
it?
show?
Yeah,
I just put up
guess.
I just put up a poll with the behind the scenes. It's like, does this count as a talk show or a podcast?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of podcasts are just gonna inevitably turn into talk shows. Like, I feel like the video format is what a lot of people are leaning towards. At least a lot of the more successful podcasts. You see Joe Rogan. He is, even though he's on Spotify, he has video podcasts. But a lot of the really successful ones have strong visuals. So I think, like, in the future, podcasts will just be talk shows. You won't have the
Like,
Ellen.
Just
You won't have the
YouTube, or
morning show.
Do you think it's gonna be mostly YouTube based,
I think,
or do you
yeah.
think it'll make it like, because talk shows on TV are already a thing, and
And
it's
they
just
suck.
They suck. It's just because it's
Yeah.
forced laughter. It's not.
It's fake comedy. It's all pre-planned. It's, I'm going to say this about this thing you're doing, and we're all going to laugh, and they're being paid in the
I
crowd.
feel like there's
and-
almost like it's tough with like a live audience too. That it's like that forces your conversation to be so like restricted. Like you can only say so much in front of people, right? Because especially now where everybody can just be like tweet it out right away, like holy shit, this guy just said that right away, and
Yeah, no, the podcast is a cool thing to get into, and you know, I'm super excited to be here and join in. I produce the East Coast podcast for Alex McLean and Taylor at East Coast Lifestyle, and it's funny being behind the scenes because I'm like, oh, I want to be in it. I want to get in and talk because I'm a big talker, and I think it's dope what you guys are doing here. I've seen you guys post and talk about it, and I was like,
I know,
we are doing it,
Yeah,
and I'm going to make you do
it's
it.
been bad. It's been a big like coming soon, like stay tuned,
And now it's here.
now
you know?
it's here. So
So I think it's a cool opportunity. I have a lot of things I want to say, and Kyle's been fucking talking my ear off about all the things he wants to talk about. So
Yeah, I have so much to talk about. No, I think I'm sort of the same as Riley. You know, I feel like he's got this crazy network, and like mine's, you know, I know quite a few people, but just the idea of being able to like meet with these people who've from Halifax, you know, born and raised, and have succeeded and created cool things, started businesses, like have done what we're trying to do, and just being able to learn from their experience and make connections and
Yeah.
meet cool people that are doing awesome shit. That's kind of like the whole thing. And
yeah,
you know, we've said it before, is like, you know, everybody eats, right? Like we want to make sure that, you know, we succeed, but also the more people that we can bring along and help them succeed, and vice versa. It's just like, you know, that's, to me, is sort of encapsulates what it means to be like a Nova Scotian even.
I love that.
And in the greater scheme of things, it's like it's kind of like us against the world, right? We're little Nova Scotians where everyone's so nice.
We
and
got to
it's
stick
like, well,
together.
We got to stick together. We got to
Sure.
grow together, and because, you know, it's tough to break out here, but the more people that we can get together, the better. And, you know, everyone's going to grow and learn, and
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing.
do
Like,
some cool stuff.
it was so cool because when I first like kind of came onto the camera scene, I remember Stroby was the first one who really reached out and was like, "Dude, your stuff is awesome." He's like, "I'm putting you in this
ice cream video.
It was just random pandemic videos, and you put me in this group chat and connected me with you and Matt Burton and Riker and Brian and some other people, and it was probably one of the best things that happened to me early on, being connected to you guys and being able to, okay, there's a community of people out here. You know what I mean? When I first got into the camera stuff, I literally didn't know anybody with the camera. I didn't know. I knew my dad's friend who was a photographer, and that was it.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I
it's
mean?
just like the social media age is still so new too. Like
Yeah.
when I was going to university, it was it was a hobby of mine, and I never even I considered it as a career. But I remember my mom being like, "You'll never be able to sustain a normal life living that, like doing that," which she's like kind of right now.
It's not
but,
normal.
No, but it's definitely not normal within like work hours and whatnot. But like
Yeah.
pay wise, it's like it's paying the bills, and it's I don't know. It's the same thing for me. It's just like seeing how supportive the community is, and like with being all of us kind of being self-taught, it's like everything we do is on YouTube. So it's like like you're learning on YouTube, you're constantly doing tutorials. So it's nice to just have that network to be like, you guys are dealing with the same shit that I'm dealing with right now. Like my computer's crashed. Can we all just fucking rant about that for a second?
Yeah, it's true.
It's nice to just have that collective, just to help each other with little things like that. Like
And gear, I think that's a huge thing too. Like there's been times that I've needed stuff from you guys. I've lent you guys stuff. Like even we have other photographers in the group that lend with lenses. Like it's a beautiful thing to be able to work together as a group, and also it gives opportunities to, sometimes I can't take a job. I'm too busy with one thing. Hey, Stroby, I know that they're gonna nail it. You know what I mean? I pass it off to them. Likewise, it's nice not to. There is some people in the industry who are very focused on it being all competitive. You know what I mean? Oh, Uncharted. Oh, Rove. Oh, I feel like the more that we all kind of work together as a group and uplift each other, it helps out. I remember early on, honestly, I'll tell a story of a creator. A creator locally.
Tell a story.
I'm gonna tell a story. A creator locally reached out to me, and he very, very early on when I first was making videos. This was like the middle of the first shutdown, so I was like bottled up in the house. I just couldn't sit still, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start going at this video stuff. So I started making videos for random businesses, and I remember one creator in the city reached out, and he was like, "What gear do you use?" He was like, "I'm thinking about needing somebody to help me out with a job." He's like, "How much do you charge? What gear do you have? What equipment do you have?" And at the time, I'm a naive person in the industry who's excited that someone's reaching out.
You're probably not even really charging for what you're doing either,
Exactly.
right? So like it's kind of it's sus to give away your prices when it's like you quote differently based on like.
Exactly, and I was so early on, I didn't even know how much to quote. So you know what I mean? I gave him all of my information about me starting and my company, and then never messaged me back ever again. Because he said he was gonna, we're gonna do a job, this, that, and then never ended up happening. And then now, I've found success with the video stuff, and I just keep it in the back of my mind. I'm like, we're not gonna collaborate with you. You know what I mean? Not a big fan, but it's good having guys like you reaching out early. That's a bond that I trusted off the bat, and look at us.
Well, yeah,
here.
because it was like even like it was before we were even together, I think, because it was like still a time where I wanted to start a business, but knew I couldn't do it on my own. Like honestly, just like I went to school for business, didn't finish it, and just like there's so much that goes into it that you need someone else to hold you accountable and like get you up out of bed every morning, because like. If I didn't have Kyle, I would probably be I already do sleep in until like 10 every day, but I'd be sleeping in, staying home, just chilling in the basement, go down, just dabble here and there. Just at least we have this office space to come down to, and like someone to hold you accountable is huge too. I think.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean you're on your own.
I'm on my own. Yeah. I'm on my own. But
you're busy though. Like you have.
It's so weird because like a year ago I had nothing. You know what I mean? At the beginning of March, I had no clients. I had nothing to go really off of, and everything that I have now, as far as like my main two clients being East Coast Lifestyle and Andy, was all based on hustle. You know what I mean? Like I used to make videos when I was younger with like super shitty cameras and limited equipment, but it's crazy to think that a year ago versus now, it's like it was a world of difference, and it was all just based on me just pounding away at wanting I had goals. East Coast Lifestyle was always kind of a goal for me to land them as a client, and I remember early on I messaged a buddy of mine who used to work there, Macau, and I had no portfolio of apparel work at all, and I messaged Macau and I said, hey, let's go out and shoot. I want to do stuff with clothing, but I've never done anything before. I know you've modeled in the past. Let's go have fun. And we made a video, and I knew that he would post it, and I knew the owner of East Coast Lifestyle still followed him. And yeah, he ended up posting the video. And just like I was hoping for, Alex ended up messaging me after, and fucking, we've never looked back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the goal, is that it just to be the side hustle to just kind of become the main gig, and
Yeah.
Definitely.
it does kind of like take away the hobby, kind of like enjoy it, like you still enjoy it, but you're not really creating for yourself, which is like the tough part. That like I said to Kyle the other day, it's like, when was the last time we just took our cameras to just go and like
The cameras
Hey.
hadn't
There we go.
left the office unless it was for a paid shoot, and like,
Yeah.
you know, literal months,
Yeah.
which sucks. But
It's really exciting doing stuff like this, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it's something
content
new.
for
It's
yourself and
yeah,
talking.
yeah.
I
it's
mean, if
something-
that's a trade-off for like being able to do this as a job and something we still enjoy, like I'm okay with that. I'm okay to go home and like put the camera down and
Yeah.
live like the other side of my life. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's tough. It's crazy to see like creators that, you know, are producing like professional stuff and also doing stuff like for their own Instagrams and stuff like that. It's
Matt Burton,
It's
man.
crazy.
Yeah, like what Matt's
Well, I
doing,
mean, that's
Matt's
the
blowing
first
up
one
right
that
now too.
comes to mind, right? It's like the passion that like I feel passionate about it, but the passion that he must have, and
his organizational skills must
It
be
is
just
awesome.
exceptional too, to be able
Yeah.
to manage,
It's a hustle.
manage that many
I know.
libraries and just
I
be
know.
always just on the go. He gets up at like 4 a.m. and
It's
him and
a
Riker
hustle,
too.
man.
It just they're a power duo.
it's
so.
cool, man. It's cool to watch. Keeps us motivated, keeps us inspired, and
It does motivate.
Matt's been always been kind of that guy for me too. That like when I first started out, like he was still just like kind of venturing into the creative side of stuff, and he's like always just been like the guy that's in your DMs, just kind of like asks you like, bro, like your shit's fire, like kind of keeps you going, and just like
Yeah.
that's what's unreal about like this comes back to this community, that it just like it's so cohesive, and like everybody just. Although we're in such a small city, and there's enough to go around, and everybody can
Definitely.
eat. But
Yeah, no, I think.
that being said, Matt Burton, if you want to come on the podcast,
yeah,
I don't know if we gassed you up enough yet, but you
Yeah.
should definitely come on.
yeah,
The thing with Matt, man, is he's such a motivator for me, because you just see him constantly adapting and changing and going to what grows, you know what I mean? And just seeing how hard he works with not only his business but his personal side of things.
Mhm.
It's
That's really that's what I was basically
yeah.
trying to say. It's
well,
like
it's-
that's
it's
the
wild.
wild.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
24/7 job for sure when you're doing it for yourself as well.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I mean, starting out for me, this is only, geez, I think I bought my first camera in 2019, December 2019. So like, really like 2 years ago. In December, and I felt like a crazy person. Like you said, you didn't know anyone else with a camera. I was like, I didn't even know why I wanted a camera. I think I might have got hooked on like Peter McKinnon or someone on YouTube, and just was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like taking photos, whatever. And to see how much like things can change in 2 years is insane. Especially the last year. I mean, since we've really started our business, which actually is only like January realistically. The amount of growth that we've had over 1 year, and you know, we're not making a ton of money, but we're growing and we're investing back in ourselves, and it's kind of crazy to see how far you can go just in 1 year, and how much further we have to go is also kind of exciting too. There's a lot more that we can do, and we're just gonna keep growing.
I think it's I think what you said there about like investing back into the business is such an important thing that I feel like some people miss. Like for me, like my first whole year, that's all I did. Every single dollar that I got into the business, I went right back into equipment. And there were some purchases that I regret and I wish I wouldn't have made. And there's other purchases that I'm so glad I've made with reinvesting the money. But I think of not putting that into expensive shoes. Oh, I have more money now. I have more income. I'm going to get a better apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
Like,
just- yeah.
I live in this
Car,
apartment
yeah.
right now that sucks.
North End.
It sucks. It's in the North End. I have I've literally fell down my stairs today because I fell
That's
down
the
them
only
multiple
mistake.
times.
Almost destroyed the thing that you just invested a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
just
money
bought
into.
a brand new laptop computer. Have the back right on my back with my camera, and I slipped down my stairs, trying not to slip down my stairs. And that's my motivation.
'Cause it's
I walk up and down those
before,
stairs,
right?
and I go,
Not falling on these stairs.
I'm paying $500 a month for this bitch, and it's working.
But you gotta lay some shingling down or something,
Yeah,
man. Get some grip in there.
Something.
Peter Griffin.
I actually
sneaking up
should.
on the fucking stairs.
But yeah, I think some people find success and they get stagnant, and they're okay with the skills they have, and they're okay with the equipment they have, and they get comfortable. And I found what gave me success was not being comfortable. You know what I mean? Constantly trying to do new things with videos, trying not to do the same thing twice. Yeah, exactly. This type of stuff. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it could be more uncomfortable than
Yeah.
what we're doing right now.
But it feels comfortable now once you
No,
get
it's
going, right?
pretty
You're just
good once
sitting
you get
talking,
going,
but
Yeah, no.
but that's the thing. It's always just pushing out of your comfort zone, and like if you feel like you can't do something, it's kind of like a reality check to be like, well, I can find a way to figure out how to do that. Like,
Exactly.
but it's also like
And
it's a double-edged sword because like you also like I feel like if somebody reaches out, like even like the stuff with Fine Company, they reached out and they're like, well, can you guys do like the animation on the can? I was like, well, we
can learn.
We can learn.
Exactly.
Never done it before, but like
Exactly.
it's that will to just kind of keep learning and like
Adapt.
Yeah, and
Is
like
that the takeaway?
well, like it's you need to
Just
know
say yes
you
and
need to
figure
know
it
when to
out
say
later.
no too. But like
Yeah.
with something like that, it's like you don't tell me you could sit in there for probably 2 hours on YouTube and not
I could probably figure it out.
figure it out. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just I don't know. It's and that's another thing is like that was a tough adaptation of like coming down to the office and just sitting and watching YouTube videos and trying to make that feel like you're not just sitting watching YouTube videos. Like I don't know. That's
Learning new things. Yeah, like I think especially like with me and what I do, like with East Coast and then with Andy, it's a lot of trying to follow trends, you know what I mean? So me on my phone watching TikTok, as weird as it sounds, it's almost like working. You know what I mean? I'm trying to soak up the good audios that are going viral. I'm trying to look at trends in the food industry and also the apparel industry. Maybe looking at some dark humor TikToks as well. But it's
That's
weird.
personal. Strictly personal.
yeah.
But
Don't look at my
it's
life.
funny how that almost turns into your job. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
It is
literally
funny.
just watching, going on TikTok and doing stuff like that. That's work.
Yeah, and it's tough because like your buddies will be like, "Fuck, you're like always on your phone. Like you're always on your phone." It's like, well, like it's working. Like I'm
Do you guys have your screen
just
hours?
scrolling away.
Do you have
Mine's
your
actually
usage?
hasn't
Look
been
at
too
those,
bad
man.
recent. I don't think.
Do you have
I
that
don't want to
turned
be
off?
looking at those.
You don't have it?
Alex McLean
I
just
just
accepted my
ignore
friend
them
request
every
on
time.
Discord.
Do you have?
NFT stuff. You guys.
NFT?
Yeah.
Well,
You wouldn't get a
What are
car.
you doing, man? Come on.
Okay,
I don't know what
I'm
it is
curious
either.
what my.
I got some though.
Should we save NFTs for the next podcast?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I'll know more about them by then.
7 hours.
If anybody wants to learn about
7.
NFTs from a bunch of people that don't know anything about
7
NFTs,
hours a day.
That's your average.
That's my
What are your
daily
hours?
average.
Mine's 5 hours.
7 hours.
But how many hours do you soak into Instagram? Is the big deal. Big one.
I don't-
Mine's 11 hours.
See, a lot of
A
what I
week.
listen to,
on Instagram.
to be
it's 12
honest,
hours.
is I can look at it here, but
Instagram,
it's
messages,
the majority
Snapchat,
of it
TikTok.
is YouTube. The majority of what I watch in the run of a day is
I don't really
YouTube.
watch YouTube on my phone though. Like,
That's-
I'm watching
yeah,
a lot of
That was one of the
podcasts.
craziest things you've told me, but the podcasting makes sense.
Yeah, like 3.
At first, I thought you were just scrolling through like 10-minute videos on YouTube. I was like, how do you spend hours?
No, it's constantly just watching podcasts. I'm obsessed with podcasts.
I watch them all the time too, but I never watch them on my phone. Like it's always
No.
just with all, I
It's in the
got,
background.
yeah, it's always just kind of there.
Apple
Or I'll
TV.
throw it on the we got the Apple TV now, but
I think this might be a good time to just take a minute to, revisit. We sort of glazed over your beginnings and like where it started, but like it'd be good to hear about some of the like less fun parts of getting into this industry and something that maybe you struggle with, something that you frustrated you about getting into content creation and sort of what you learned from that.
Early on, honestly, definitely struggle was like life work balance. Having a girlfriend, trying to obviously spend time with Tori, but also focus on this other stuff. But that was probably my biggest struggle at the beginning. It was just like the time.
Just time. It's a lot of time. It's all practice, and there's really no substitute for just putting in the work. So
Yeah.
but
when you have that much going on, it's like the amount that you could learn in a month is actually stretched out to like a year, right? It's like, it's tough to fit it all in, and yeah.
Definitely tough to balance like your own
balance that
business
as well.
and like a relationship too, and like I feel like that's the biggest one because you just are you're committing to another person, and it's just you're not on your own schedule as much as you would like to be, and that's.
I know that's a really funny thing actually that I feel like people don't think, and they're like, oh, I get this all the time. People say, oh, it must be so nice working for yourself. You know what I mean? Picking your own hours, blah 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 blah. It's like I don't pick any of my own hours.
Yeah, no, you just say
they're accounted for.
Yeah.
If anything, I work less for myself now than I have ever in any other job. You know what I mean? I have two bosses with Andy and Alex with East Coast that are more important than any other boss I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? And when they say, "Oh, we need you here," or "Oh, we need you there," it's yes. You know what I mean?
Not a debate.
It's not a debate.
It's not. They're not asking.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not in a. They're
not asking or
They
suggesting.
would be fine. They'd be fine if I didn't need
super
something
flexible.
off. But like that comes with giving good service and being exceptional at your
Dude,
job.
if
you know
anything,
what I
that
mean?
makes it way harder to ask for time off.
Oh, you can't.
Because if you're in like just in regular like 9 to 5 or like, I mean, I'll use an example for myself. Like if I needed a day off from working at the restaurant, like as a server, like I don't feel bad at all being like I can't work that day. Sorry, because it's not your business. It's not like
Exactly.
It's just not the same. Whereas like the same situation comes up, but you're now representing yourself. You're working for these two super important clients, and it's like makes it even harder to get time off when you like need it, right?
A great example, honestly, is we went up with a Jeep deal up to Cape Breton to do. With
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Ever heard of Jeep?
Yeah, another little name drop. No, we did a Jeep deal up at Cabot Links and Cliffs, and that weekend that it was on was my 2-year anniversary with Tori. Ooh. And it was like bang on the day, and that's one of those things where you have to like kind of know your priorities. You know what I mean? And golf was priority that weekend, I guess.
Oh no!
Tori has left the chat.
It's a tough one.
No, and this is also a great thing as well. Is like if you are being serious about getting into this industry and working for yourself and being an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? Having a supportive girlfriend or partner, you know what I mean, that understands that type of stuff. When you break that to your partner, oh, I'm not going to be here on your 2-year anniversary. Yeah. It's not a good. You want to be there as well.
Bad.
You know what I mean? You feel like
you're not choosing.
Like a shit
you're not choosing
boyfriend.
And
it's good that I have Tori that was extremely understanding and has always been through all of it. So
she takes some pretty unreal behind the scenes shots too. So.
Exactly, she's pretty good with the camera. Yeah. She's gotta take
Instagram
more pictures.
right here.
Yeah. No, actually, we don't want.
That's gonna edit that most.
Yeah, he's like no ads, no ads.
Never mind. Put it on private. Put it on private.
No,
yeah,
that's funny. What would be your guys' like worst client story, like a nightmare story? I can tell you mine. We can start there.
Okay, you go first.
I
don't even
You
know,
kick
man.
it
Like,
off. I'm not super sure.
I just remember I was working for this one client, and they didn't really give me much direction on exactly what they were looking for, but they kind of gave me like basically job notes of what they wanted for like quick 6-second ads they wanted to promote. And I execute to the best of my ability from the information I was given, and basically every single one of them they wanted to change based on the lighting choices or the song, or we want a different hand. You know what I mean?
Things you can't fix in post.
No, exactly. It's complete reshoots.
But like, and that I think that's the takeaway is that it's like a lot of people now there's such a disconnect that they don't understand how much actually goes into putting these like videos together. That's like, well, you could do it on your iPhone. It's like, yeah, but I just edited all those iPhone clips to a certain music hit, and when you ask to change like the masks in the video, it's like we got to reshoot that. It's not.
It's hard to hit a target if they don't give it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's impossible.
You want to. It's
You're
an
like
expectation.
mildly blindfolded for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Like it's
shooting
like
at targets and you're not really sure.
Yeah.
They point you in the right direction. They're like the target's that way,
yeah.
but you can't see.
Yeah.
And
It's a
And it was-
dog leg left.
like,
Yeah, so
and they give you a golf club and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
So basically, I was, kind of redoing the videos for them. Not really, kind of biting my tongue a little bit, but it was every single time. And then I remember sending them an email being like, if you guys don't want me to make these videos, saying like, if you guys don't like my creative vision or whatever, you know what I mean? Like maybe like this isn't the best partnership. And I remember, the client kind of brought me in his office and he was like, either you can make money doing this or you can make the videos you want to make.
But I could do both.
I was like, what? I was like,
Seems
what?
a bit
And not only that,
sus.
yeah, it's like you're not. It's not that you don't want to make the video. It's that you're not. Your vision isn't the same as his vision, and his vision isn't necessarily attainable.
Yeah, it was,
Like that's the biggest thing is people have like all these visions, and it's like, we can't that's an expensive. That's like a virtual effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like or visual effect. Like
yeah, it was definitely a big slap on the face for sure. It
I don't-
was one of those, and now that I'm, kind of have found success with what I do, and I'm working for East Coast, I'm working for Andy. Like it's so funny because I have the creative freedom that he said I couldn't have.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's yeah.
Which is like, feels good.
That's yeah, and especially when it's like you're making a consistent product too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like that's what even Kyle says. Like when Brad goes to make a video, you know that it's gonna be like, it's gonna be well done. Like it's consistent. It's
Yeah.
but yeah,
And it helps working with like the same people, you know what I mean? That's like a big
yeah.
thing that I would suggest to, if people are out there watching this who want to use cameras and want to get into this industry. It's like having retainer work and having continuous work with, you guys have Thunderbirds, you have Harvest, you know what I mean? Those are contracts that are guaranteed every week.
Mm-hmm.
Like securing those clients has been the best thing that has ever happened in my career. You know what I mean? And
It's just like-
having it available to also still pick up other work as well. That's where things really started turning for me, and I really opened up my eyes to being like, okay, I need to bring in clients, like multiple clients, not just do these one-off deals, which do pay the bills, but I feel like it's less. I don't know. I feel when I make something with Andy and I see it grow and his page grow and East Coast grow, it fires me up. But when doing one-off videos, for me, it just, I don't know. It's
also-
not as exciting. You're not
It's
invested.
also nice knowing that on the other side of that you're gonna be able to pay your bills that month too, right?
Exactly.
Like it's that uneasy feeling of like we just spent all this money on these computers, and it's like, fuck, are we gonna be able to afford them in like a month? Because we don't have we have those two retainers, but it's like we don't have consistent daily deliverables like the same way that you do. So it's like we want those retainers. We're trying to find the right retainers, but
It's a roller coaster, man.
it's tough right now,
You
too.
You can definitely make more money per project with random stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like Riley said, it's not guaranteed, right? So you can't play that game. It's like
And you're like you said, you're fortunate that you're with two retainers that are so flexible
Yeah,
and like
and it is hard though, balancing between them. You know what I mean? Because you want to say yes to everything, and it's hard to sometimes because both people want to do something on a Wednesday. You know what I mean? And you never want to say no, and you try to make everything work. And there's a lot of stress that comes with this. I know you guys probably deal with it. You know what I mean? Like it's not working for yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning, I saw my buddy Emmett work for himself, and that's kind of what first kind of had me turn my eyes to, maybe this is something. If he can do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if it was easy, everyone would do it, and that's why everyone doesn't do it, right?
It's hard.
It is hard, and there's just so much more to it than just making videos. That it's like the whole business side of it that's so time consuming in its own. Like just like making sure you're doing everything by the book, and
well, you could go work for a big company and get a salary, and they have a whole accounting department, they have a whole HR, they have a whole like marketing department, and you could just do your one job, and then it's like amazing, super easy. But like Riley was saying, like we have to do all that stuff. We are
Everything.
HR, we are accounting, and so
Yeah.
it's like you said, if it was easy, everyone would do it, and I don't really blame a lot of people, honestly. They can, you can find some pretty solid jobs just doing what you're good at, and that's unreal. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a level of, I don't know. There's something special about just being, even though you don't always feel like you're working for yourself. Like,
It feels nice knowing that you're gonna benefit or not benefit from every decision you make. Like it's like this. Every decision you can make is like this is gonna benefit my business, or it's like having this conversation is gonna benefit my business. It's never like you're never talking on someone else's behalf. Like you're always. It's nice to just always be working on your own thing and not having to be like bottlenecked by anybody.
Another thing I feel like that doesn't really get talked a whole lot about, and I've been actually chatting about with some people, and I don't think I've even talked to you guys about it, but like creative energy. I know that's something that like I deal with.
here.
I'm sure you guys have to deal with creative energy, and you know, from other creators that I've talked to, it's how much can you give? You know what I mean? That's something that I find sometimes is, you know, maybe I have 3 shoots in a row that only take me 3 hours to do. You know what I mean? That makes me feel like I worked like a 10-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Just conceptualize.
It's
exhausting. And it's hard for people to relate to that. You know, I tell Tori, you know, I finished 3 shoots. I come home and she's like, I served 10 hours tonight. What are you talking about? You didn't.
It's like mentally draining too.
It
right?
is
because you have to see the end product before it's even there, and it's like it's not everybody can do that, and it is.
You're thinking about the light. You're thinking about the camera settings. You're thinking about is
like
the East Coast lifestyle showing? Are they smiling? Or where's the hair? You know, they're wearing. You know, you got to think about all of these things all at once, and you get finished, and you're just like,
I need to take a break.
It's true.
Even like right now too, it's like we just looking around, making sure the cameras are recording. Like the laptop went black. It's like, is it
Panic.
is it still recording? Because what Kyle's saying. Oh, the laptop might be dead.
I don't think it is.
Oh, so like one thing like I guess I want to ask you about is like you keep going back to the videos you used to make. What was your driving force when you were like, not only what was your driving force when you were making videos when you were younger, but what type of videos were you making when you were younger, and can they be resurfaced?
No, they're out there. They're definitely out there, and honestly, I'm not really ashamed of them. But they were mostly it was us having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was the best part of it when we were younger. We were, you know, this was the birth of YouTube at the beginning. When it first started, I remember watching Weird Al Yankovic when I was like 12, Riding Dirty. I remember that YouTube video.
Great.
And that was the first thing I ever saw. I remember finding YouTube and just being like, what is this? Like you can just search and there's videos. My cousin showed it to me.
You guys
remember
Old Greg? You guys remember Old Greg?
Old Greg. Dude, there's
not
Salad
PC.
Fingers.
Not PC.
Salad Fingers. There's a bunch of
Charlie
good.
the Unicorn.
Oh, Charlie Bit My Finger. This is all prime retro YouTube.
Big time.
Like Jimmy Tater was my
Smosh?
first. Was like that's who I was trying to think of was Smosh. I was like, who was that? Those two that they were nuts.
Those were the OGs, and I feel like that's like kind of what inspired like what me and my buddy Spencer used to do, and it was all fun. Like I think that's what the beauty of it, and that's why I kind of kept it up there, just because I know, you know, when I'm 40, 50 years old, I'll be able to look back at those videos and you know, they're embarrassing and they make no sense, but it's so funny that
0 cents.
they make 0 sense.
The script was not.
Yeah.
There's no script.
No creative director.
There's no
on it.
script.
It's just
There's no script. We would literally just set up the camera and do crazy things. But it's so funny that all of those, you know, I would have made at least 100 videos when I was younger, and all those edits and all those exploits.
Chain out the whole time.
Dude, you don't have to be that cool all the time.
You're stunting.
I hate when the chain is out. So
no.
Anyways, continue on. Sorry, bro.
But yeah, all those videos built the foundation of basically what I do now, which is hilarious. Like I didn't do it for so long, you know, you get into high school and then you realize, oh, these videos aren't cool anymore. You know what I mean? You put away the camera and then...
Yeah, because you're basically like, well, I don't even know. Yeah,
my biggest
my
biggest regret is
making
because I would make videos back then too, and I'd like they're deleted off of Facebook, like they're gone.
You got rid of them?
Yeah, like some not even just like videos. Like I remember when I was like probably like 9 or 10, and like setting up my mom's little like point and shoot camera in the living room and like cloning myself and having myself
Yes.
like 5 times in the room, and like
I have those.
I remember going through it like Facebook
Yep.
in like grade 11 and 12 and be like, oh, this is so dust. I gotta delete this. Like I'm gonna get bullied for this
You gotta
later.
keep
Like,
'em up.
and now it's like, fuck. Like, I wish I had those because like that it is.
I know
I'm making like paint, like making these
Yep.
like cloned out sequences.
I know
in
exactly what you're
paint.
talking about, man. I used to do the same thing. I remember
That's
on the
crazy.
iMac, they'd have the photo booth app, and you could do a green screen effect. And I would put myself. That was the first video effect I ever did. I still have the video of it. But like that was when I was
We'll
like
pull it up right here.
7. Yeah, there you go. I definitely have it. But it is crazy how.
Are we
like,
pulling stuff up? Is it this kind of talk show podcast?
Fuck yeah! I gotta show you guys this video that we made.
back in the
Maybe I'll
day,
show
you and me,
after.
baby.
You and me, baby.
When did you start
used to have
like
fun.
did you start taking photos and videos and stuff?
Man, we
now?
literally the only ones I can remember were it's kind of like Brad's. It's like one day we had when we were playing mini six, we must have been 10 years old, maybe like not very old, and we had like one of those old like goalie masks, like the white ones.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, this kind of looks like Jason. So we literally made like a Jason movie in my house with
Would
this little
love to
point
see
shoot
that.
camera. I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it, or I thought it was on Facebook, but
We should
it's,
do like
it's
remakes.
hilarious to think. Like we were 10 years old. We were like, we're gonna make a Jason movie. Like
It was bomb.
there was like scenes of us running down the stairs, like Jason's running down. Somebody
so-
gets like
so
punched
fun,
in the
man.
face, man.
Different. Was it a one shot or were there a bunch of different cuts?
It
This was childhood
was-
before iPads.
I think it was cuts.
It was
man.
before
Pretty
iPads,
sure
too, but I mean, like,
it was cuts.
Now it's just iPads.
But they stole the camera on it, and like they could make
Well,
a,
They could.
they could produce a way better like
or they could be sucked into some fucking crazy game that an engineer designed for little kids to just love and want to buy things in.
storage is like such a tough thing to not have, and like I'll just so blatantly just delete something and be like, I'll go looking for it like later and just gone. Just like
R.I.P.
Keep
at
deleting
my
stuff.
first year at Dal, I wore a GoPro on a hockey helmet around like partying and shit, and like had like a party video and like posted at the end of the year, and like it was up for like a year, and then people started messaging me like that needs to be taken down, like that can't be up, and so like that kind of sparked this whole okay, I gotta go delete a bunch of shit, and like
Yeah.
now I just wish I never deleted it. Wish I would have stored it somewhere.
I've had really late payments.
I've had payments that aren't what we had originally agreed on, and that's really annoying when it's like, well, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be, so I'm only gonna pay you this, and it's like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, or like people will send you like free booze or something, and like expect like a free video or something when it's like I'm just gonna post it on my story, and that's not what they had. Like, well, we sent you this, we thought we were gonna get some free content, and like it's that expectation that it's just you're gonna do it for free. It's like this is my job. I'm not. I can't do it for free.
I'm not a
Like,
camera slut out here.
no, you know, it's not a this ain't no hobby, Kyle. This ain't no hobby.
Shout out Kevin Kezner. We love you.
Have you ever not got paid?
I am fueled by pure passion and Mexican black bean bowls. Shout out Harvest.
Shout out ours.
Although you're on the new wave today. You're on the new wave.
Oh, tofu peanut satay.
Let the
bowls.
people know, because people don't know the
Tofu.
harvest.
Use
Peanut
code Kyle.
satay bowls. Use code
0%
Kyle
off.
at checkout for absolutely nothing off, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Have you ever not been paid?
no. I've had really late payments though, but
Just
it's just like I hate having to
Oh,
chase.
late payments is all the time. It's
I
just-
hate having to chase people down for money.
But
You know,
that
that's-
I realize that's a thing in every industry. Like my roommate, like
That's
Ryan-
just business.
It's just business. It's like the
So
realization
annoying.
of everybody owes somebody money. It's like it's just a weird, and like we'll be waiting on money from this company. They're like, well, we can't pay you guys yet because we haven't been paid from the client. So it's like everybody. It's just
I just
constantly reminding people that you're not a bank. It's
Yeah.
like I'm a small business. Like I'm working with all these huge brands, but I'm not I don't have the revenue or cash flow that these
Yeah.
brands have. But like.
One thing I'd suggest for people to do out there with cameras to fucking do deposits.
That was a
have-
game change. Yeah,
that's
a changed our whole lives.
Yeah,
It's a big change
do you
because
take 25,
50.
50. We're on the 50 wave now too.
Yeah. If you go 50, like when they're that invested before basically you do anything, they're eager to pay you
Yeah.
at the end for the footage. You know what I mean? Because you have their money.
Yeah,
And
and
if you
it's,
don't take that money, they have all the power.
yeah, and that's the thing is like you have people that reach out and they're like they have all these ideas. They're like you have these calls, these meetings, everything is great, and then it's like okay, can we get a deposit and we'll lock this in, and they just don't want to give you that money, and it's like, and you're just then you find
You
yourself
did
like,
all that work.
You did all that work, and you're like reaching. I'll find myself. I'll reach back. I'll be like, hey, just like wanted to follow up, see if you guys are still interested in doing this project, and they're just like, oh, like I'm still waiting on the marketing director to get back to me, and just there's so many bottlenecks that it's like, it's so annoying.
Secure the
Yeah,
bags.
it's so annoying not.
Secure
But
the
deposits was a game changer for us. We didn't start it until
like July.
Yeah,
maybe?
which is
Even
like
before that.
actually really fucked that we never did before, but.
That's that Nova Scotia vibe that I was talking about
Well, it's just
earlier,
you
man.
trust-
It's like you just trust people.
You trust that people are gonna
You think
pay.
you know these people, and for the most part, we've been good. Like Brad, same as you, man. Like late, late payments is probably the worst situation.
Another tough situation too is like doing like favor work. So like if like one of your buddies owns a company and they reach out and they want like, they're like, yeah, like can you do a video? And you're like, yeah, sure. And they expect that like their price is gonna be like exponentially lower than what you're charging.
Yep.
And it's like it's an awkward thing when you like, because it has happened to me where you say yes, and then it's like you put their video on the back burner because you have other clients that are paying more money, and they're constantly hitting you up being like, have you done that video yet? Like, bro, are you not done that video yet? It's like, well, because I have all these
People
other
that are
clients that are
actually
paying
paying
10x what you're paying me. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, maybe it's just up to like, we just need to get better at having those like tough conversations. Like,
well,
'cause budget always sucks.
Yeah,
Budget
Connor's.
talk
That's
sucks.
always the awkward part of the conversation when you're like,
Yeah.
so it's gonna cost this, and it's they get that transition in that
You
conversation.
almost
But
need to have it at the beginning.
it's why I like meeting with people in person. Like that's like our biggest thing when like COVID kind of like slowed down a bit. That we would every meeting we were doing was like, yeah, let's do it in person, because it's just like it's way easier to just read someone and have a good conversation and like actually feel their sense of seriousness when they're having these ideas.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
want to sell yourself, like, too. I think that's a big thing for me in meetings. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's so many talented people in the industry over here in Halifax. You guys, we got Rove, we have like all those big players over here.
No free ads.
You know the
Yeah, we all know them. We're gonna bleep it out.
yeah. But I think like really selling yourself, and like for me, I try to go as hard in the paint as I possibly can for my clients as possible. So like really never saying no, you know
Basketball
what I mean?
guy.
Always being basketball guy. Always doing the extra work, you know what I mean? Staying late, not complaining, you know what I mean? That's one thing I hate is excuses. That's one thing I hate. I hate excuses. So I'm not an excuse guy, and I feel like when you have those meetings and you try to, sell yourself, I think those are some of the things you gotta focus on.
That's what, and Kyle and I have gotten so good at it over the past year too. Like we literally catch ourselves like finishing sentences in these meetings now, because it's like, well, we can do it just flows. Well,
Good cop, bad cop. So we're both good cops.
You're definitely
We're both good cops.
Good guy, good guy.
yeah, until someone has to bring up the budget, and then you're
Who's
that
the bad
guy.
cop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes.
But yeah, I think another thing too, and this was great advice for me when I first got into it, is ask what the budget is for the project.
Yeah, right.
Ask
right in
them.
the intro, like if they reach out, and they're like, "We want to do this," it's like, okay, what's the budget for the project?
Because
it's
you
sets
could
the tone
do-
that's like, I'm not doing this shit for free. Like,
Yeah, and you could do, depending on who you're working with, you know what I mean? Like, you could, let's say you're doing a deal with XYZ company that's huge, and you ask them what the budget is,
That's
and
a
you might have
different
quoted
number.
them,
It's
you
a
might have
different
quoted
number.
them $1,000, but they have a budget of $5,000. Well, think about how much effort that you could put into that video with a $5,000 budget, and how much better it'd be. You know what I mean? So you could potentially do a $700 video for a gym, or you could do a $5,000 job for a gym, and it'd still be your company. You know what I mean? It's all based on budget and how much effort you want to put in. That's what I tell people.
It's
I
that
say,
realization too, that it's like the $5,000 isn't all just gonna come. Like if you're gonna charge like $5,000, you're not just gonna expect to profit $5,000. You're gonna put some time. You're gonna like bring other shooters on to help you out. Like
you bring other
like,
shooters, you're gonna have quick turnaround. You're gonna have
It's prioritized,
XYZ.
right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you are putting the money in. Where if you have Joe Blow who is asking for a video, oh, I want a deal, oh, I want this. You know what I mean? Well, if you want a discounted service, like that's what we'll give you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I think that's when you ask the budget question and set expectations early on. I feel like that it really has helped out me for sure. It's like, okay, we could do this.
Yeah.
And
How do you want to do it?
I also think that's important too, is like positioning the budget too, being like, we're flexible to work with your budget. But what are you willing to pay? Because you get this or this.
This is what you're gonna get.
You know, and but I always find like sometimes you'll scare that person off if you're throwing a number at them and they're like, well, and they don't even answer you. But it's like, if you kind of say like, I'm flexible to work with you, like, I want to work with your brand, because there's.
Your
that's
budget's
how you,
4,000. Oh, it's gonna be 5,000. Ooh.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you have to
stretch it. You gotta stretch it.
You gotta get those numbers up,
Yeah. With that, it's another like the second question is like, well, what exactly do you need? Because people, like companies and clients will come to you with like the most vague description of what they want, and they're like, "What?
Can I get a hype video?
How much does it cost for a 60-second video?" And it's like, okay, well, let's just back it up a little bit. What do you mean? Because
what is the call
we
to
can
action
make a
here?
60-second video that's $10,000. That would cost us $10,000 to produce, or we can make one that's $10. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's such a crazy way to like value it, like to put value on content. Is like 60 seconds worth? It's like, well, it's worth $5 to $1 million. You know?
It's like a message to the companies that are reaching out. It's like, send examples. Like, lead in with saying, hey, can you recreate something like this? We're looking for this. Like, it just makes it so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think a lot of the times too, the companies that are reaching out that want videos are people who sometimes are older that don't truly really understand video and understand social media and understand how that works, and they're thinking TV ad, they're thinking 60-second TV ad, this is what we need to do here, where in reality on social media now, that's not, you want reels, you want
that's like
interactive photos, and half the time when companies reach out to me and ask me for A, I'm like, I think you actually want B. I think this is what you, what are your
more
goals?
Value. There's just
what are your
value.
goals? You want to grow on social media? You want to...
It's like, so one minute video isn't going to do it. You need 15-second videos. Or,
If
you know, like, and like Brian was over last night and he was saying about like the Piece by Chocolate videos. Like, you guys killed it. He's like, I don't know why they wanted such a long video though. Like, because he's like, you could literally break that whole video up into 4 different sections, roll it out over reels, and
we could have went one for each group of people that were there.
That's exactly what Brian said. He's like, he's like, it was a great video, but it's like they could have got so much more value out of your time in that one shoot.
I think the value word is so perfect, and that's what I always try to use in my emails while I'm talking to potential clients. Is like, oh, you want this? It's like, we can do this for A price, or I could give you a full video, a few TikToks, and photos as well for this price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's not
the
like
two
a crazy
prices,
amount more.
No,
it's not a
not.
crazy amount more, but it
always-
makes them realize, saying, even though both projects may take the shooting day the same amount of time, it makes you build more value for the client, giving them more content to post on their website, to post on their social media, their TikTok.
Yeah.
And then when they have all that value and they see things going up, you know what I mean? They come back to you because they go, oh, we need another social media package. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And it's also, and with that too, that like brings in the pricing conversation too. I remember at the start, it was like, it's tough because you want to say yes to everything. And like, it's almost as if like, I just lost my train of thought there.
No, honestly, I think sometimes...
Well, you want to say yes to everything, but at some point you need to cut. This is a kind of a weird analogy, but you gotta like cut the cord from like the lower budget stuff in order to be able to take on and put the amount of time and effort into the higher budget stuff. And like, it's not going to come right away, but at some point you need to say no to people, because otherwise you're going to keep doing work for the same price. And I mean, the best way really, I think, to work through that is to get enough clients and enough work that if you say no to people, you can still pay the bills. It's like you need to get to the point where you're saying no, and that's when you raise the prices. And that so it's almost like a good thing. Like if you're too busy, your time for the money is not, the value is not there for you. That's when you're allowed to say no to people, and that's when the cream rises to the top, and you get these clients that you want to work with. And it's kind of funny, like it's kind of funny how it works, right? It's in stages, and some clients might come to you, and if you like crazily underquoted them, they'd be like, well, why would we go with this guy? They're obviously not very good.
Yep.
Whereas if you come with a larger number, it's like, okay, well, obviously, like, this is premium, this is, this is worth the money. You know, it's like anything. It's
And you got to be premium
you
too.
know, it's the brand. It's like
Yeah.
what you bring, your experience. It's like that with everything, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I think what you said back there too, as well, is like talking about working with people that you want to work with. I think is a key thing as well. Like working with clients that you enjoy working with, that you're building solid connections with, that turn into repeat work, that you're working towards something. I think that's been super fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big
Watching
time.
Andy not use TikTok at all, had 40 followers on it, and me encourage him, be like, man, you gotta post TikToks. You gotta get on TikTok. I'm like, we'll follow the trends. We're gonna build it up. And today, he's sitting at like 17,000.
Yeah, which is like.
And that makes you feel like, you know,
Unreal.
fucking bomb,
valuable.
you know?
It comes back to just being valuable, and like it's just that push to be like, you could be out there, and more eyes are gonna see you. I don't understand TikTok at all. Like
Nobody does that.
I'm
That's
still
for
like-
another podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's a whole nother episode. But I'm still. I don't even know if those views are real views. I don't understand. Like
I think they are, but I think it's just a matter of like playing the algorithm, which honestly that would be a perfect episode title, just the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because that's something that like I'm obsessed with. I'm sure you guys are obsessed with it as far as figuring out, okay, what does Instagram push? It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
It's a rabbit
it's
hole.
a big
But it's
rabbit
really
hole.
it's really
Too many
interesting.
rabbit
You
holes,
see
man.
you see even what happened with Matt Burton with his
It was real.
dude, 1 million views.
And now he's grown like 7,000 followers.
It was
or
a
something.
sick ass video.
Oh,
but
it's
he's
like-
also had
it's
when
eight-
people go to his
5 seconds.
profile, they also see
The rest of it.
years
Yeah,
of
yeah.
work.
It's like, oh, this guy's slept on, basically. Yeah, and it just pushes you to follow. It's unreal. I'm glad that he's fucking
Yeah.
blowing up. It's sick.
The only thing I'd want to say about the lockdown, honestly, for me was like, it was probably the best thing that's happened to me in a while, which is pretty crazy to say. Like being able to stop working, stop school, everything shut down, and basically fully focus on videos. Like I remember in the heat of it, I was making a video every single day, just every day, made one, and every video got just that much, a little bit better and a little bit better. And what I would tell somebody if they want to get into videos, or people that DM me saying, oh, what camera do you use, or oh, what this, or how did you get East Coast and whatever, you know what I mean? That it all comes down to putting in the hours, creating content, and doing it over and over and over and over again. And that's the beauty of my 2 retainer works is I'm making like 5 videos a week, nonstop, and every single one just gets that little bit better.
Your growth,
and you just grow. So if you're out there and you want to get into this work, don't wait until you have the new A7 IV that you pre-ordered, or don't use your phone.
Not salty at all. When's that thing showing up, Brad?
It doesn't seem like I'm never.
2027, you'll get it.
But it's true.
Yeah.
Like it's so corny because I feel like all the creators that I follow on YouTube all say the same thing. They're like, you just got to make it. You just got to go
You
out
just gotta
there.
create. You just gotta push it out there, not care.
And
about
it
what you're
sounds so
creating, right?
taboo, but it's so true. That's how you get better, and that's how you grow, and doing new things and trying new techniques and watching too much YouTube is
A
what
lot
you
of
gotta
it.
do.
A lot of it too is like letting go of your like ego of like, oh, this is gonna get a bunch of likes, or I hope everyone likes this, like.
Or it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, and like, that's the biggest thing, because like you'll go
perfect.
back and look at a video that you thought was fucking fire at the time. You look at it now and you're like, should I archive this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like and that's how I am with like videos you make last week. That it's like you just always have this expectation to be better because you're making more videos, and like just the only way to be better is by doing it, and that's like
and doing it over and over
Yeah.
and over and over and over and over
Yeah.
and over again. Like I swear to God, like if you spend 5 hours on a video watching it from start to finish, and you're making sure we change the shadow here and change the especially with social media. If you're putting it on social media, that's lasting on somebody's
It's
eyes
gone.
for 2 seconds,
Yeah.
and then it's gone forever. They're never going to see it ever again.
No.
So it's like striving for perfection every time, especially in like such quick turnover space. It's like you're going to get better at videos by making more videos, not by spending hours on one piece of content.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
So what do you think? Do you think we wrapped it up?
I think I thought. I mean, that's just like what you just said. These are only gonna get better, ideally, if we keep doing them. So I think
Yeah.
this first one actually went decently well.
Maybe I'll be back. Who knows? Maybe you guys will
Oh, you
invite us
better come
back.
back.
Yeah,
You
no, we
better
gotta
come
get.
This is college show. So
back. I don't know how I became the MC of the show. Like,
Kyle, you gotta do an outro.
Brad just kept pushing it on me.
Yeah, read
Do
the
an
sponsor
outro?
ads.
Yeah. Yeah, ad reads.
Manscaped.
Ad reads. And we're done.
We got Manscaped. What else we got? SeatGeek. Use promo code
Yeah.
Strobes.
Yeah,
Harvest.
stroke, swipe up.
Swipe up.
All right,
Harvest.
next episode.
But yeah, honestly, I do want to like this. If you didn't know, this is the set. That like this set is the office, our office above the downtown Harvest location. So shout out to Connor and Brad for setting us up in this office space. Like this is
Taking
unreal.
care of us.
Not this Brad, the other Brad.
Different
This
Brad. You
Nothing
might
to
meet
do with
him
it.
one day. He doesn't talk much.
Sexy.
Yeah, no, we'll get him on here. Connor's said he's gonna come on. But yeah,
Sexier than me.
we'll wrap
well,
up the first episode. And
Yeah, I mean, wrap it up with what we probably should have started with. My name's Kyle McDonald.
yeah.
We'll just crop it.
Fall River, Nova Scotia, born and raised. My business partner over here.
Riley Strobridge, originally from Lower Rose Bay, Nova Scotia, which is like an hour outside of Halifax. Like it's one of those things you got to tell people they don't know where that is.
And last but not least,
No. We don't have to say where I'm from. We can just say Brad.
Sack Vegas, baby.
Yeah,
Sack
say-
Vegas.
Bradley
I'm
App.
on the other side of a train tracks. I would say Fall
from
River.
Sackville,
Oh, come on. I made
Nova
it across the
Scotia.
track.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of lied. I was originally from there for the first.
That's
like,
what I'm
10
saying.
years, so
You
I got a
gotta,
little
you gotta
sack
rep
on
your
me.
sack if you're
Got a
making
little
me.
sack on.
Rep your sack. Nice.
Yeah, your sack.
First episode title, Rep Your Sack.
Rep your sack. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for listening. If you're still here, I'm astonished.
Yeah.
You're still listening right
Yeah.
now, but we
I think it's
appreciate
sick.
you. Hopefully this isn't the last, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Lips are trying.
Sometimes I might look like an asshole. Yeah, I might. When there's a cure for insecure, take my mask